I'm here to tell you that the belief that you are a victim of your past is over. And here's why. Welcome to the Pillow Talk podcast, except it's just Kai in bed yapping. The vibe here is that point of a sleepover where you're just lying in bed and things get really sad or funny or political, anything extreme, that's the goal. So enjoy. I hate hearing that people think that they have no control over their future because of their past, that who they are is inevitable because of what they experienced. And in a lot of cases, this is tougher to accept and to execute, I guess, but it really does not have to be that way. This doesn't even just go for your past. People live with the same mindset that their past ancestors have had. It's called generational trauma. They embody beliefs that weren't even theirs. They embody fears and judgments and all that weren't even theirs to start with. And sometimes it is at a conscious level. Other times it's actually like epigenetic, that it gets passed on to you. And so it really does take a lot of inner work sometimes to notice these things. But I think in a more upfront way, you can notice the things that you're triggered from your past, from your life. I've heard some people say to me, life fucks us and then we're fucked. Like, what are we supposed to do about that? And I strongly believe that you can unfuck yourself. And it's not in the sense of like you can forget what happened, but it's more like you don't have to keep living in response to that. Sometimes it isn't even that serious. Sometimes it's like little things that happened when you were younger and it's kind of shaped who you are now. From my own experience, the person that I've become from being shaped by bad experiences, that's not who I want to be. And it doesn't align with me and it doesn't help me achieve my goals or anything like that. So for me, working through those things is really important in order to be who I want to be and to feel true to myself. And I think for a lot of people, trauma, it just dulls you. But the problem is, it's your responsibility. Some of what I'm saying now, I'm getting from the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I've mentioned this book before, but really, it is so good. The whole reason I say that you don't have to be a victim of your past, you don't have to be what your past resulted in you being, is because the way you act now is your responsibility. Like, as much as what happened to you isn't your fault, that's one thing he also emphasizes in the book. There's a difference between something being your fault and your responsibility. You know, someone crashes your car, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to do something about it. Like they're not going to be the ones fixing it or helping you get your money back. That is your responsibility. And that goes for like your happiness. It literally goes for so many things in life. And I guess that's what I'm focusing on now. Life is tough and it can seem tougher for a lot of people. People go through rough experiences and I totally get that. It can fuck you up. But I hate that people feel like they have to stay fucked up. And I hate that it's so easy to just stay in this state of being a victim and that life is so hard for you and everything. And it is the easier option. As much as it seems like why would I say that suffering is easier? But it's easier than doing the work. It's easier than unlearning the shit that made you believe. It's easier than unlearning the idea that you're not worth it, that bad things happen to you all the time, that life is horrible and there's nothing good in life that's for you. All the good things are for other people. And it can be as simple as like you thinking that you don't deserve a lot of money. Like maybe you grew up in a very low income household or a poverty area or something. You don't have to keep living in that way. Obviously that kind of a lifestyle teaches you that money is scarce and that whatever money you get, you have to like hold on to it. There's obviously different ways that it can show up in people, but you can unlearn this. It takes a lot of work, but you can, and you don't have to be a victim to that. You don't have to stay in that cycle. And from that book, he was speaking a lot about how he came to that realization is in his life where he was feeling like shit and like he couldn't achieve anything. And then eventually he realized like that's not going to do anything. It's his own responsibility to come out of that and to learn that that's not true. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you're all you've got. Like, yes, you may have your family, but anything can happen. At the end of the day, you're the constant. So it's your responsibility to show up for yourself, to better your own life. You can't sit around waiting for other people or other powers to make things better for you. Even though shit things happen to you, it is your responsibility to not let it get to you and to keep your life where you want it to be. I also think that this is an important conversation to have because it's a very normal human response that when bad things happen to us, we automatically just get ready for anything else that's going to happen that's bad. And then you start expecting bad things to happen. And the thing is, the more you expect certain things, the more you're looking for those things, the more they will show up in your life. It's the same concept as it's like the minute you get a brand new car, now all of a sudden you're seeing that car everywhere on the road and you never did before. Even if good things are happening to you, you're not going to even look at those things. You're going to immediately focus on the bad things that are happening. A lot of the things that we believe in, our brain will find evidence to back that up. So as long as you're believing bad things happen to me, you will look for bad things that are happening to you and make that the reason that this is true. You will give yourself evidence for it to back up your belief. This goes for a lot of things in life, but we're going to stick to this topic. As much as this can be seen as a bad thing, it is so easy to take advantage of, you know? And I say it's easy because it just means that we have to stop believing the bad things and believe good things. And then we will start noticing good things and our life will get better because we will notice the better things. Like, even if our life is exactly the same, we'll notice the good things and we will believe our life is better. I think sometimes a misconception when it comes to manifesting and everything, people are always like, oh, but you can't just believe something and then it's going to happen. But it's more just like when you believe something, you find evidence for it to be true. So technically it does happen, even if nothing is actually changing. Yes, in some cases, things will change. But the thing about things changing is when you are believing something good is going to happen, you will start looking for the opportunities to lead to that good change. Whereas if you're thinking bad things are going to happen, you probably won't even notice those good opportunities, you know? So that's kind of how manifestation happens. And that's why they say, like, you need to embody what you want. Because when you embody that frequency, your brain literally moves into that vibration and it starts looking for things in that same vibration. And now I'm speaking about vibrations because it's not just about like a vibe you get from something or whatever. It's a quantum physics thing. So you know how they say the matrix is like this code? But I actually kind of like the concept of that it's all ones and zeros. The ones are the knowns and the zeros are the unknowns. And the quantum physics is basically about that. It's like everything that we can see, oh, that's the ones, it's the knowns, it's what we know, it's here. But in a field that we cannot see, it's the quantum field, that's where all the unknown exists. And this is supported by Schrodinger's cat. All possibilities exist until it is observed as like a single thing. Does that make sense? So that means that like in this quantum field, there is literally all possibilities. And the only way to tap into the one that you want is to literally embody it. Because you literally start to manifest it coming to life. And the thing I think that a lot of people miss with that is that they get too fixated on how it's supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen. If you're focused on how and when it's going to happen, you're going to be expecting it. And the thing about the unknown is it happens unexpectedly. Like, you literally have to embody in your daily life that anything can happen and that at any point an opportunity can arise. And so you have to be constantly ready for that. And that's why sometimes like they say dress for the job you want, because like if you go out dressed in this way, opportunities are more likely to come to you because you're like embodying it. I don't think I explained it very well. I recommend reading the book Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, but also just like anything by him. And I think I have mentioned this before, but anyway, I actually kind of forgot my point. My point is that you can change your mindset and you can change your life through that. one of the stories actually in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book was that there was this woman and she was going through a lot of disease and heartbreak and everything. But she like changed her life through meditating and changing her mindset and like being ready for good opportunities unexpectedly that she wasn't aware of, being ready for the unknown. And in all of this, she realized that she had so much control over the bad things that were happening to her in the past. Her disease was happening because she was always stressed. Her body could never heal itself because it was always on stress mode. And stress causes disease. I don't think we realize the power our thoughts and our mindset and our physical state have on our life. And I have so much sympathy because life is fucking tough and shit things happen all the time and it's cuck. But I just don't think anyone deserves to live a shit life because shit things have happened to them. Especially because, let's say someone did something shit to you, that person is probably living just fine. And that is the cuck thing to me. It's like, why must the victim now be living this cuck life, this traumatized life, and the oppressor is living quite lavishly, quite happily? And yes, I do believe in divine justice, but I don't think that that balances it out enough. Like, I think the victim deserves to have a life unaffected by what they did. I hate even saying victim. I do think words have so much power, and when you claim yourself as a victim of something, you're gonna live like that. But anyway, sometimes I like to think of it as like, do you really want the oppressor to win? So maybe it wasn't a person, but do you want the bad situation to win? Like they tried to put you down, to oppress you. Do you want them to win? I think that this work, not only is it important to improve your life and to get yourself out of this victim mindset, but I think it's also good in terms of justice. Like you're not letting them win. Because yes, as much as maybe they aren't being punished, maybe they aren't getting the legal justice that you want them to have, you want them to be punished, right? But sometimes the best revenge is healing yourself and not letting them having ruined your life. Because honestly, that was their goal. And if you don't let them achieve their goal, I feel like that's sometimes the best you're going to get. And honestly, at the end of the day, I honestly think, yes, you would be happy with them getting like legal justice and punishment. But if you look back at your life and you realize like your whole life was shit just because of what they did, I think that'll make you feel a lot worse. So I think for yourself, you should learn not to be a victim of your past. And now I'm talking about like traumatizing things that other people can do to you. But sometimes it's actually things that we do to ourselves. Maybe you did a shit ton of drugs when you were younger, or maybe you fucked a lot of people, or I don't know, maybe there's something that to this day you're still like stuck in this guilt about it or something. I think that's also something to unlearn. What are you going to do about it now? You can't go back and change it. The best thing you can do is change your future because that's all that you have really coming. You can't do anything about your past, but you can do something about your future. If you are someone that has like control issues, the best way to gain control is to create your future. And why not create a fucking beautiful one for yourself, lacking guilt and fear and, all the bad shit. You want to be in this high frequency that like allows you to achieve your goals. But I hope if you take anything away from this, it's that life doesn't just fuck you and you stay fucked. You do have control over that. And sometimes it can take a lot of work, but I'm here to say that I really do believe in you. And I don't think you deserve to stay a victim of your past. I really don't. Because honestly, no matter what it is that happened in your past, we're all expressions of God and the universe. And I do think that we all deserve a chance to enjoy this life. This one life that we get. And whether you believe in reincarnation or not, you only get to be you once. So I really do think we all deserve to really fully experience it. I believe that anything is hindering your ability to live this life fully should be worked on, and you don't deserve to have in your life. And there is a way out of it. And it may not be easy. Honestly, my best advice, and it's the only thing I've learned has worked in general, is meditation. Genuinely. Training yourself to ignore your thoughts, because neuroplasticity is a real thing. Your brain is trainable. It is not a victim of the past. It is not stuck in the same state. It can change. So training yourself to ignore your thoughts, to change your thoughts, to change your response to your thoughts is so important. And then not only that, that's how I started meditating. In the beginning, it was always about training myself to stop thinking, because I feel like I'm constantly thinking. So that was a big part of my meditation. It was to train my brain to be silent. But my next journey in meditation has actually been to detach from this body and from my identity. And I will talk about that in a different video. Dr. Joe Dispenza actually talked about that, how it is important to detach from your identity if you want new possibilities to arise. You can't be so attached in the things that you are, in your job, in your bad habits and all that. You can't be attached to all that and then also want to change. So if you want things to get better, you want growth, you have to be able to detach from this, and you have to remember that you're a soul. You're not this body. You're not your name. You're not your religion. You're not the politics you stand for. You're none of that. And that is something to remember. But sorry, I actually feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. I do want that to be a separate topic. I just get so passionate about all this. And, something I notice in almost every episode is that so much of it interlinks, which I think is so cool. I'm sending so much love to everyone listening. Even if there's just 2 people listening, I'm sending so much love because you deserve it. We deserve it. We deserve to have a life full of passion and experience and love and happiness. And that's not to say that sadness and anger and fear are not a part of that. I think that only brings out the good. But it's important to not let that overpower your ability to feel happiness and everything. May you remember all of your blessings, even if they're small. Focus on that. I love you. Thank you so much for listening to today's Pillow Talk episode. If you have any thoughts, please comment them down below. I want this to be a conversation, like a sleepover. I love you so much. Bye.